Elon Musk is a renowned entrepreneur, inventor, and visionary known for his contributions to the technology and aerospace industries. He is the CEO of SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, and the Boring Company. Musk is also recognized for his work on renewable energy and sustainable transportation solutions. Musk's quotes are often regarded as thought-provoking because they challenge conventional wisdom and inspire people to think outside the box. His ideas and insights are often considered ahead of their time, and his willingness to take risks and pursue audacious goals have inspired many to strive for their own ambitious pursuits. Furthermore, Musk's quotes are widely shared and discussed because he has a reputation for delivering on his promises. His companies have achieved groundbreaking feats, such as launching reusable rockets into space and developing electric vehicles that are changing the face of the automotive industry. Overall, Elon Musk's influence and impact on technology and innovation, coupled with his unique insights and bold thinking, make his quotes highly regarded and sought after by people from all walks of life. And here are Elon Musk's famous and thought-provoking quotes. Enjoy. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. I think that's the single best piece of advice. Constantly think about how you could be doing things better and questioning yourself. If you're trying to create a company, it's like baking a cake. You have to have all the ingredients in the right proportion. I don't create companies for the sake of creating companies, but to get things done. If you want to be a songwriter, you have to be a reader first. Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. There's a tremendous bias against taking risks. Everyone is trying to optimize their ass covering. It's very important to like the people you work with. Otherwise, life and your job is going to be quite miserable. The first step is to establish that something is possible. Then probability will occur. I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. I don't spend my time pontificating about high-concept things. I spend my time solving engineering and manufacturing problems. I don't believe in process in fact. When I interview a potential employee and he or she says that it's all about the process, I see that as a bad sign. The problem is that at a lot of big companies, process becomes a substitute for thinking. You're encouraged to behave like a little gear in a complex machine. Frankly, it allows you to keep people who aren't that smart, who aren't that creative. If something's important enough, you should try, even if the probable outcome is failure. My biggest mistake is probably weighing too much on someone's talent and not someone's personality. I think it matters whether someone has a good heart. I don't think it's a good idea to plan to sell a company. There's a tremendous amount of effort that goes into creating a company. I think it's very important to have a feedback loop where you're constantly thinking about what you've done and how you could be doing it better. Really pay attention to negative feedback and solicit it, particularly from friends. Hardly anyone does that, and it's incredibly helpful. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. If you want to grow a giant redwood, you need to make sure the seeds are okay, nurture the sapling, and work out what might potentially stop it from growing all the way along. Anything that breaks it at any point stops that growth. I think the best way to attract venture capital is to try and come up with a demonstration of whatever product or service it is, and ideally take that as far as you can. Just see if you can sell that to anyone and get them to say, yeah, I'd be interested in that, I'd buy that. You shouldn't do things differently just because they're different. They need to be better. If you need inspiration, don't do it. Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive, and determination of the people behind it as the product they sell. I always have optimism, but I'm realistic. It was not with the expectation of great success that I started Tesla or SpaceX. It's just that I thought it was important to try. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I know it's going to be big and it's going to be weird. If you're not progressing, you're regressing. The future of humanity is going to bifurcate into directions. Either it's going to become multiplanetary, or it's going to remain confined to one planet, and eventually there's going to be an extinction event. I think it's important to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. You want to be extra rigorous about making the best possible thing you can. Find everything that's wrong with it and fix it. Seek negative feedback, particularly from friends. I don't think you should just do things because they're legal. You should do things because they're morally right. Brand is just a perception, and perception will match reality over time. Sometimes it will be ahead. Other times it will be behind. But brand is simply a collective impression some have about a product. It's very important to like the people you work with. Otherwise, your job becomes a chore. Life is too short for long-term grudges. It is possible for a company to be very successful financially, but still not create a good product. That's not what we're about. You want to be extra rigorous about making the best possible thing you can. Find everything that's wrong with it and fix it. Seek negative feedback, particularly from friends. If something is important enough, even if the odds are against you, you should still do it. I'm interested in things that change the world, or that affect the future, and wondrous. new technology where you see it, and you're like, wow, how did that even happen? How is that possible? If you don't love something, you're not going to go the extra mile, work the extra weekend, challenge the status quo as much. There's a tremendous bias against taking risks. Everyone is trying to optimize their ass covering. If you go back a few hundred years, what we take for granted today would seem like magic. Being able to talk to people over long distances, to transmit images, flying, accessing vast amounts of data like an oracle, these are all things that would have been considered magic a few hundred years ago. I would like to die on Mars, just not on impact. It's important to have a feedback loop where you're constantly thinking about what you've done and how you could be doing it better. I don't spend my time pontificating about high-concept things. I spend my time solving engineering and manufacturing problems. If you create a company that takes risks and is able to do things that are innovative, then you're going to have failures along the way. The thing that's worth doing is trying to improve our understanding of the world and gain a better appreciation of the universe, and not to worry too much about there being no meaning and, try and enjoy yourself, because actually, life's pretty good, it really is. I think we have a duty to maintain the light of consciousness, to make sure it continues into the future. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like our video. Please share your opinion in the comments column.